All right, let's talk about cruises. For most of us, they're just a vacation, right? A floating hotel with a giant buffet. But what if there's something deeper going on? Today, we're going to look at the cruise experience not just as a trip, but as a genuine psychological journey, a space where real transformation can happen. This quote right here really sets the tone for everything we're about to explore. The idea is that the big empty ocean isn't a barrier, it's actually a pathway, a place where you have to disconnect from your normal life so you can finally reconnect with yourself. So, this brings us to the core concept, the ship as a space of suspension. Think about it. It's more than a moving hotel. It's this little bubble world where all the normal rules, your deadlines, the traffic, even who you're supposed to be back home, they all get put on pause. And that's what creates this really unique headspace where change actually has a chance to take root. So here's our map for this journey. We're going to treat it like a four-act play. We'll start with leaving everything behind. Then we'll get lost in the timelessness of the open sea. We'll touch down in these fragmented versions of the world. And finally, we'll explore what it's like to come back home different. Okay, let's dive into Act 1. This is all about that moment of departure, that feeling of physically and mentally cutting the cord with solid ground and all the baggage that comes with it. I mean, just look at the contrast here. It's so immediate. The second you step on board, you're trading traffic jams for the sound of the wind. You're swapping rigid schedules for just following the sun. It is a total reset for your senses. You'd think the first thing you'd feel is the boat rocking, right? A little wobble. But it's actually the complete opposite. It's this deep humming solidity. You can feel the faint vibration of the engines, like the heartbeat of this giant metal island. That, mixed with the smell of sea air and the sounds of excitement, you know you've arrived somewhere else entirely. Okay, a quick practical tip. What you pack is important. Yeah, you need the adapter, and trust me, you'll want a warm jacket for the windy nights. But what's way more important is what you decide to leave behind. Seriously, leave the work stress on the dock. As the saying goes, if this massive steel ship can float, your problems can probably float for a week too. All right, let's move into Act 2, because this is where things get really interesting. This is the heart of the journey, those days when you're out on the open sea and time starts to feel, well, different. After a couple of days out there, you might hit this amazing state called nautical nirvana. I love that term. It's what happens when your day gets super simple. Meals are at set times, the ship has a rhythm, and weirdly, all that structure sets your mind free. You stop making a million tiny decisions. You stop looking at your watch, and you just start noticing where the sun is in the sky. Of course, there's the physical side of things, getting your sea legs. Look, seasickness is just your brain getting confused. Your inner ear feels the rocking, but your eyes see a perfectly still room. The fix? Go outside and stare at the horizon. It syncs everything up. But here's the amazing upside. Once you adapt, that constant, gentle rocking can give you some of the best, deepest sleep of your life. It's like being rocked in a giant cradle. And who are you sharing this nirvana with? Oh, you'll meet the whole cast. You've got the veteran with their platinum card, telling you about a cruise they took in '98. You've got the enthusiast who's already circled everything on tomorrow's schedule. And then you have the observer, just happy with a book and the view. It becomes this weird, temporary little village. Okay, on to Act 3. The ship finally reaches a port. But here's the thing about a port day. It's not a deep dive. It's more like seeing the world in these quick, intense, and sometimes chaotic little pieces. I want you to remember this number, 30. It might be the most important number of your entire trip. On a port day, all aboard is almost always 30 minutes before departure. And no, that is not a suggestion. Which leads us to the one unbreakable golden rule of cruising. You have to live on ship time. The city you're visiting might wait for you, but the ship will absolutely 100% not wait. It's a simple and very final truth. So how do you make the most of these short visits? It's all about changing your expectations. You're not going to read the entire novel of a new city in 8 hours. The goal is to just enjoy one brilliant paragraph, that perfect cup of coffee, an amazing view, one really interesting conversation. But that poetic ideal can sometimes smash right into a much messier reality. The source material talks about this one tour in Barbados where the guide was literally driven to tears by a bunch of loud, arguing tourists. And it's just this stark reminder that travel isn't always pretty. Sometimes the real lesson isn't about the place, but about empathy and how we choose to show up in it. And that brings us to our final act, heading home. You'd think this would be the easy part, but returning to solid ground can actually be more disorienting than leaving it in the first place.
Have you ever heard of land sickness? It's a real thing. After days of your body getting used to the constant, subtle motion of the ocean, solid land suddenly feels like it's swaying. It's your body's way of saying it misses the rhythm of the sea.
So what's the real takeaway from all this? It's this deep internal shift. Before the trip, you might have seen time as an enemy you had to fight against. Now, maybe it just feels like the ocean, something you navigate. The unknown isn't so scary anymore. It's just part of the adventure. And silence isn't empty. It's where you can actually hear things clearly. This is such a perfect way to put it. You go on this journey and you come back, and the person you were before you left, well, that identity doesn't quite fit anymore. It feels a little too tight. You've expanded, and your old life has to adjust. So yeah, the vacation ends. You get off the ship, but the sea kind of comes with you. You find it in a new sense of patience you didn't have before. You find it in a new perspective on your problems. And you might just find yourself looking out at the horizon a little differently from now on. The ship is back in port. Its journey is done. But your journey, that internal one, is really just getting started. So the real question isn't about where the ship went. It's about where you will go from here.